Hey everybody, welcome to Strange Stories from the Stage. This is Todd Strange. Welcome to Detroit. This is my, you can't see, it looks like angels are inhabiting whatever's happening out there over my left shoulder. But we got a great episode. I'm here in Detroit, actually. We interviewed when I was in Cali at home. But this is Rihab Chaieb. She is an incredible mezzo on the circuit right now. She's performing everywhere. The Met. She just did a role here at LA Opera. She just did Dorabella in Così, Fan tutte by Mozart, and she killed it. It was amazing. Really funny. Fantastic person. Really felt like I met a friend on all this and had a wonderful, long conversation. I really didn't edit. It's close to 2 hours. So if you have the time, enjoy. You'll hear a lot of her stories. You'll probably rehear some of mine because I don't have nearly as many cool ones as she has. But I had a really good time talking with her. Spoke with her last night randomly on Messenger on socials just to make sure she was okay with me releasing this today. So I'm going to release it today and enjoy. Yeah, this is Rihab. Enjoy. I'm here in Detroit, by the way, doing Central Park 5, singing the role of Donald Trump again, and the forensics officer. If you abbreviate that, it's DTFO. I'll let you sit on that for a bit. But yeah, it's we'll talk more about that. I might do just a Todd podcast, just a Todd pod, and talk about my experience here in Detroit Opera, which has been fantastic. That's all for now. Enjoy Rihab. Here she is. Thanks.
Like a nice iPad. Like, this is my light, but I prefer the side.
You look good. What do you do? It'll make it look better too. Look at me. I look like a purple. Something's happening. I look like I'm just gonna go with the Barney vibes. I don't have a choice. It's like, all right. Is the sound okay? Am I clear?
Yep.
Is it good? All right, cool.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You really well. Yours is gonna sound better. I have all this fancy equipment, and yours is gonna sound better. Is what's gonna happen.
Okay, good. Because I was like, do I need
No,
me?
No, I just need this to look cool. That's all this is.
Do I look cool?
You look cooler than I do, but I try to look cool with the fancy, the headphones and the thing, and call myself a comedian and all that bullshit. I try.
Great, you look amazing. I put makeup and I did my hair just for you.
That's really nice. You're really nice to even come on this thing.
I'm going nowhere tonight, and I'm like, I feel like I need to go out with look at this.
You should go out. It's your last night. Are you going to go out? Well, I don't say if you do because I know we have a show
hungover.
I was there after last Sunday. We have afternoon show, and then we all went out after the Carmina. That was later that night. Yeah, it was a triple for some of us. Like we had church in the mornings. And then we went over to do the Così, and then after that, we walked across the street at like less than an hour, and then got changed, and then sang Carmina, and we decided to go down the hill to the Pirate Bar to Redwood.
Oh, I was there after the last show.
Yeah, so
they have really good nachos.
They have good nachos. They have good everything. Everything is good, and it's a good vibe, right? It's got like a nice dive bar vibe. Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, so I just record, by the way. I just turn this on and we just recording? Go. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I can cut out anything. Right? Yeah, I can edit or I can not. It's a podcast thing, so sometimes it's no big deal just to keep rambling. Half the podcasts I listen to, it's they're just, it's just it's not like an official thing. Mostly I end up having a conversation with whoever I'm talking with, and we talk about weird shit that's happened on stage, and so I try, and so. I try and get an array of artists. Yeah. Cheers to you.
Cheers. I'm boring. I'm having some water.
You're hungover. It's either hair of the dog or water.
Oh my God. After last show, out of nowhere, I have two friends. Maybe you know them. One is the countertenor Yeston Davis. I don't know.
I don't know.
He's like, oh, you're in town, and we have a show at Walt Disney at the same time that we had our show.
What were they doing?
Les concerts d'Astrid, some Baroque stuff, with
nice
countertenor. And Emmanuel Haïm. And one of my friends that we did Lindemann together, and we also lived together for a year, Peter Nekoranec, I think that's how you say his name. And they were here, and they were like, let's go out for a drink. So we went to Redwood had a drink, and it was really nice. It was just kind of like, hi, bye.
And that was it. It's like it's pirate.
Yes.
It's so fun though. It's pirate bar vibes. It's such a like dive bar,
Yeah.
and they have
Yeah.
like did they have live music going?
No, this was like almost midnight. We went to the Conrad, and they're kind of a bit snob. I mean,
They're
they're
so it's
snob.
oh,
So expensive, and also one, it's really expensive, and two, every time I've been there, I
snobby.
snobby, but also the service is not that great. The the wine list is not that great. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a gin and tonic. Or my friend had a he had a prosecco, and the other friend had a Negroni. And actually, the Negroni was not bad for like a dingy bar. It was actually
I
pretty good.
no. They have good pours, and it's like no bullshit. And like the
Yeah.
Conrad takes forever. Like we used to go there right when it first opened because we had people, like the friends that like are, like we have people that work there that we know and stuff. And so like, yeah, we'll go there. It's going to be great. But oh my God, it takes forever. And
It
it's
takes
so
forever.
expensive.
It's very expensive. I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of people working there, like they're not sure what they're doing there. Like
I
they
know.
don't want to work there.
Yeah,
I don't
yes,
know. And it's
that's
always like,
accurate.
hi, can we order? Is the food here? Like,
Yeah, you don't know where to order. You'll hover at the bar and then just they'll just ignore you. And
yes,
I'm
just
like,
ignore you.
I want
And
to
like
pay and
last weekend,
drink.
my friend from San Francisco came in town and stayed there, and so he was like, "Come over, we'll go to the pool and have like brunch there." So we're having brunch, and we're both ordering, and he's ordered something like, like an Earl Grey tea with milk and sugar. She comes back, she brings him the tea. It's not the right tea. He's like, "Oh no, I asked for Earl Grey." Well, okay, okay, sorry. She goes back, she brings the tea, and he's like, "Great, can I have the milk and the sugar?" She's like, "Of course." Goes back, brings the milk and the
By that
sugar,
time,
and she's like, and he was like, "Can I have please the sugar?" She's like, "Oh no, my God, yes, of course." And he's like, just take a deep breath. Everything's fine. But it was so weird. It felt like a other reality. Anyway, doesn't matter. Whatever.
no,
But
but it kind of it's something to be brought up because we work downtown all the time and there still isn't really a great place to hang.
no,
Kendall's used to be awesome back
that's what I heard.
before, and then when they
Not in my
remodeled it, yeah, that's
This is
not.
not my time. This everybody told me. Even Maestro, like James Conlon, was like, yeah, like after the last show, he was like, Candles used to be the great spot, and it's really sad. But I actually did it. I'm not that bitch normally, but I did at the last show because I went every time after the show. I try to go. I have friends who want to grab a quick drink at
Yeah,
the Conrad, and a few times I've called just to tell them like, look, we have a show. We're gonna finish late. Can you keep the bar open? And is it not this last show, but the show before? It was me, my friend from San Francisco, Ana Maria, and her cousin. And her cousin called to be like, we're gonna be here late. Please,
hook it up.
and we got
Yeah,
there. They're like, no, everything's closed. And it took half an hour to talk to some like manager god to eventually tell us, okay, you can have a drink, but you can't have just a glass. You can only buy a bottle. So we were stuck at buying like a $70 bottle because we just, at this point, we're just like, please,
that
anyway,
fits the bad. No, it fits a bad
it's
cliche of LA. It's
I
really
I
bad.
love it. I have to say,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
it's
don't.
all like all shiny surface, but like rotten insides.
No, I agree. I actually agree
You
with you.
know,
I
especially
yeah
like I'm in Echo Park, and like Silver Lake has such great bars and great food. And yesterday, where was I? The beginning of my night, we started at the Hummingbird
yeah
Ceviche House.
yeah.
On I think on Silver Lake.
It's on Silver
This
Lake.
place looks like nothing from the outside. Actually, it kind of looks like a little mini prison because it has
Red
like
is
all
it
these.
red neon sign on the outside?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know it.
it's
I
like a
know.
blue turquoise house, like
Yes.
block, and then it's like there's nothing you can't really see because it's just you're like. Then you go in. I kid you not. The tables are like plastic tables with they're like tablecloth and plastic and like fold out chairs. It honestly looks like we're in like someone's quinceanera or like someone's
Right.
like just like backyard party.
Yeah.
But then this food comes over, and it's like a mix of Peruvian, Argentinian,
Oh man,
Japanese, and it's
fusion.
incredible, incredible food. So anyway, yeah, we started there
Oh,
last
that's
night.
cool.
Yeah, and then
That's
we ended
awesome.
up in my backyard because I had all this booze that I needed to finish, and
Yeah. Well, you
I'm
gotta
like,
you buy it for the month, and yeah, I'm
buy
about
it
to
for
do
the
that in
month,
Detroit. Yeah, same deal. Yeah.
and but for me it was like vodka and gin. So I'm like, okay, guys, you know why I bought vodka and gin and lychee?
Well, lychee's good.
Because of this stupid show, The White Lotus, which
Yeah.
I
Well,
hate.
because that's what we watch, right? I mean, come on. Are you caught up? Come on.
I
You saw
am
that.
caught up. I am caught up. I love the first two seasons, but this season, I kind of want to shoot everyone. Everyone's shit. Actually, I like
Well,
Belinda.
there's two
Belinda,
guns. There's two active guns around in the premises, so we know someone's going to get shot. And we saw the
wait,
first
two
episode.
guns?
There's two. Well, there's one now. Now
There's
there's
one.
one. I don't want
Yeah,
to. Well, there's one now, but there were two. There were two in the wild.
right. But anyway, like, I'm all for like this multiracial coupling of Belinda and Porn Chai. I also love his
Hmm.
name, Porn Chai. This
I
is
know.
like the best name. But anyway, besides them, I'm like, ugh, this season is just so blah. But every 5 minutes you have a ad about the White Lotus Vesper Martini, and it's like,
I know.
I mean, I don't know, Kettle One, gin, whatever, and then like some lychee and like lychee liqueur. I didn't get lychee liqueur. I just got normal lychee and syrup. I just put
Yeah.
lychee
Was it
syrup
good?
and lychee. Yes, but it's all alcohol, just
Yeah.
forty
Well, yeah, but it's
percent
still yeah. Well, that's
worth
but
of
the
alcohol.
martini. You don't want to put too much filler in there. You want
I
just
know, but
the
I had like a lot. We all had a
yeah.
lot last night. So anyway, I had to wake up early this morning for a padel clinic and game, little tournament.
Yeah. I
I
think I
was so
saw you. I think
slow.
I saw you with a with paddle and with dog on side on your
Yes.
story. I saw that.
It's a great place called the Paddle Courts. It's, I think, in an area called Thai Town. Thai
Yeah.
Town.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it there.
I
Like
want to
I'm,
get back into tennis really badly. Really
yeah.
badly. I need to do something.
Well,
I'm
you live
50.
somewhere, right? You have a house, so you can do that because
Yeah.
tennis, you need a partner.
Yeah. You need a partner. Exactly. Oh,
You
is
need
this
a partner.
just you just this is a
No, the
one
good thing about this padel game is that you need four people, so you need yourself and three players. But there's all these apps where you can just like meet random people.
Oh, sweet.
And so you go and you're like, hey, how's it going? And you start playing, and actually, some of them you never speak to again. Some of them no, but just like, okay,
Yeah, no,
thanks, have a great
you're
day,
just there to play. Yeah, you're there to
And
do
then
the
some of them you
thing.
just like, oh,
Yeah.
I really like playing with you. Let's, play together. Some of them became my friends. And so it's a super social
It's
sport.
nice.
I think it's good for singers who travel all the
I
time.
was just gonna say, don't you feel like I find that it's really important as a music person and now kind of comedy. Like I'm meeting people, not music, not
Yeah.
musically inclined,
Really.
and they're just in the comedy world. It's a totally different world, in so many ways, right? The way
Yes.
you can talk amongst each other is a lot freer, we'll say. Sometimes offensive if back in the singer circle, they'd be like, oh my God. They'd be like, it's comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
I shut up because I'm like the white dude in the room. I'm like, I'm out, I'm just listening, but I'm laughing. I'm laughing. You
Well,
know?
so I
But,
haven't. I'm dying to go see you live, which is so sad because you're
oh,
going live when I leave, which rude.
I kind of, this TV thing kind of like took the wind out of my sails. So I felt it was weird. I was like, I feel like I'm in some sort of recovery. I didn't write anything. I didn't go to any open mics.
It's so stressful.
It was stressful, but like in a weird way, because it wasn't like I was working on it 24/7. But like here, different than you're on the circuit. You live out of a suitcase most of the time when you're doing roles, and
Yeah.
I am here. I do mostly 50% or so ensemble work, and then I do some solo work, and then I do some recording work, and then I do some teaching work. So I'm juggling,
Okay.
and then
Wow.
and then I like add the comedy in when I have free time and free energy, which is but it's just the difference. It's the choice you make when you decide to stay local. You're working more frequently, but your paychecks aren't as big, But like when I get to go do solo stuff like this, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, what are you doing
You're like,
now?
wow.
You're going to do
I'm singing Trump again. If yeah, I sang. Oh my god, yeah, I sang Trump when Biden was in office, and I was like, yeah, it's sweet. Oh, yeah, I'm so edgy. Now I'm like, oh shit. I'm like,
is that what show is this again?
Central Park 5.
Oh,
So do you know the story?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, it's
The
weird.
runner,
Like,
the
yeah,
runner who went running and she got murdered. I mean, that TV show, is it called not The Last of Us? There's
yeah.
a TV,
No,
there's
yes.
a short mini series about it, was like with Kristen Wiig. I think she was.
Yeah,
she,
she was. I think she was in it.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
She was like the super racist lawyer.
Well, like, yeah. The district attorney. So the three white people in the show are we're the bad guys basically in this thing. We're district attorney, or assistant district attorney. She's the one in the interrogation room, just like, she says, "Say you did it." Say, just like over and over to each person.
Yeah.
And then there's another. The baritone role kind of encompasses just kind of the man, it's like once you're a detective, and then you're some city official, and then you're somebody else, and then
it's the same singer singing all these.
Yeah, it's like an amalgamation of that. It's a representation kind of in its own way of different things that happen to these boys, and then of course Trump, who took the article out in the New York Times, say these guys should be put to death, and all. I was like. I was watching the footage, I watched the footage over and over just because he's not, he's not, he's not that guy, like necessarily.
Not yet. Yeah.
Well, no, he's and so he's kind of like this handsome 1989,
Yeah, dapper,
very Wall Streety, like he was art of the deal shit type guy. And so
you have to spray paint your face.
I did last time, but here's the thing, because I asked the director last time, we did it here at Long Beach Opera, and they had premiered it at Long Beach Opera. I was actually supposed to do the premiere, and I couldn't because they asked me at the last minute, and I'm like, I'm locked into this chorus thing, and as much as I'd always want to do a solo role over a chorus contract, they ask us like a year out to sign it. If we bust out, then they're like, oh, you know what? Just stay home for 2 years. And you're like, oh, I kind of need that, as part of it.
The opera world and like the classical music world is very, how do you call that? They keep a grudge,
They keep tabs. They know, they reckon, that's why,
if you say no once, it's okay. If you say no twice, they're like, you're dead to me.
Yeah, it kind of is. You have to. And so I was balancing this thing because that happened to me actually with Long Beach Opera, because I was taking all these roles because I could, I was right here, and they liked me. I liked them. I did like Candide. I did some new stuff. I did all this Philip Glass shit, and then all of a sudden, I had to say no like 3 times. And then it was like, and then, yeah. So it came back around for this role, but this one had legs. I mean, Yuval is at Detroit Opera, and Christine Gierke was the one that reached out to me, and I was kind of like, is this really you? I'm like, hi.
Oh, wow.
How's it going? Cool. Yeah, it was like, holy shit.
Who else is in the cast?
It's pretty good. It's, let's see, Freddie is in it.
Freddie Valentine
is in it. Yeah, Valentine. He's so great. He's so good.
He's fantastic.
He was here as a young artist. He's amazing.
Okay.
Tunde's doing a small role in it, and I know him from being in LA, and he's kind of like an influencer now. He's doing that hip opera thing. He does the
What's his name?
Know if you Babatunde Akinboboye. He's from LA.
Check him out,
but
he's
now. He's a badass. He's got like over 100,000 followers. He now books shows like at wineries, doing like
hip opera. Oh yeah, of course. I follow him already. Yeah.
So he's doing a small
500K people. Okay.
Well, he's racking it up. He's doing really well. He was the first person I reached out to when I started doing content, because I was like, should I do this? He's like, why isn't everyone doing this? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm afraid. He goes,
because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing all of this.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot. I mean, I don't have the time. Like, I have other things to do.
I have to batch it. Yeah. I have to batch it, because like I'm teaching and all that. I have to batch it so it's a release every day, but it's like, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to do.
And even your stuff, like I see you it's all about content, right? And the content release is like it has to be daily or like every what couple of days,
Yeah,
you know.
basically.
But it's like you have to have so much content,
And then you
and
stall out because it's not, it's impossible to be good every day. You're kind of like, well, sometimes
yeah,
you're like, well, here you go.
yeah.
Now you're
So
like,
anyway,
whatever.
he's in this show, and then who else?
I'm trying to think. Oh, Nathan Granner, who is in it. He's a good
Okay,
tenor. He's very
okay.
good. Trying
Who's
to
the
think.
lady? Is there any ladies?
Yeah,
Women?
there's like two ladies in the show. I'm
I'm
gonna pull this
curious.
up actually. I'm curious because I don't know if I've actually looked who was in.
So in the meantime, may I ask you a question? Is your name
Please do.
actually Strange? Your last name?
Yeah, I think it was from. I think
Is
it
that
was
your like that's your parents' name, your dad's
Yeah,
name?
my
Yeah.
dad's name was Strange. Is Strange. Well, it was Strange. He's passed, but
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he's no, it's fine. He was a couple years back. He was in poor health, so probably he's better off, to be honest. But
Wow, so
yeah,
your last name is Strange.
yeah,
I
it
love it. I thought
actually
it
is
was
strange.
because like Todd Strange is such a
It's
like punchy
it
show name. It's such a like Hollywood name. I thought it's like a it's an alias. There's like
No,
a
it wasn't
name.
made up. It just happened.
Todd
I
Strange.
think it
But
was
and you know
British.
what?
It's British.
It's it's like, Doctor Strange.
I know. I dropped out of my art like my degree program though to get that. I should have stayed in, I guess, just to get that. Okay, here we go.
Doctor
You
Strange.
ready? I I wish.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be cool? I just for the name. All right, here we go. Cast. Do you
And
know
who's the
Catherine Martin? She's a
yeah,
mezzo.
Mezzo, yeah, yeah.
She's doing the assistant district attorney. That is by the way, that is a killer. It's
Who's the
amazing.
composer?
It's Anthony Davis. Not AD, obviously, like from a
Hmm.
basketball player, but yeah, he's kind of a jazz fusion. He wrote Malcolm X, the opera, as well,
Oh,
that was
oh,
floating
okay.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
And this one won a Pulitzer. And
Felix.
he's a really nice guy. This thing has really cool jazz influence. It's very gnarly musically. It changes like time signature every, I want to say like every bar. It's really hard. Like there's a lot of funky intervals, a lot of sevenths and tritones
Yeah,
and really wacky stuff, where you just have to have your brain on the entire
all
time.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And Anthony Parther is conducting. He's a big session guy. He conducts, Anthony, right?
Well, so I
He's
know him
Yeah.
through a friend of mine who's not even in the opera world. He's in the like video game world, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know how it, but he was like his name is Jeffrey. Actually, I just talked to Jeffrey today, and he was like, "Oh, you should meet Anthony." And then
You
Anthony and I
should
started talking on
absolutely meet
Instagram,
Anthony.
and
Yep.
but he's I'm busy, but he's also very busy. He's a very very busy conductor, but he
He's
does a lot
insane.
of
Yeah.
film. He does a lot of really cool things. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we get to intersect. I do some film work I
Have
mean,
you worked with
that's
him?
one of my, yeah, quite a bit. He's one of the main guys that I get to work with on sessions
Oh,
sometimes. He
cool.
conducts them and stuff. And so he was also one of the first as a bassoon player. He was one of the first musicians I met in town. We did this. We used to work at this really cool project called Jacaranda that would have a concert series, and they would do really, really gnarly, cool stuff. And we would meet up on that stuff. So we met on that stuff, and then we've been friends ever since. And then
So how
now we
long
get to
was
work on
that?
these. That
Is it
was back
long
in
time?
2011, I think, or something.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
here. I've been here a minute. I got here in 2009. I did a young artist program at San Diego Opera from 6 to 8, and then just made the decision once I met Courtney to stay here, and it didn't end up moving back to New York. It was kind of
Where are
one,
you?
it was one of
Oh
those
yeah,
like
where are you from
moving.
originally?
I'm from NorCal, so it was more comfortable but it was kind of one of those decisions like, should I move to New York or should I stay here, and audition, and so I decided to stay here. I had a lot of work here lined up
How
and
did
was
you
doing.
meet Courtney? How did you meet your wifey?
We met. I was one of those typical.
Showman.
Yeah, I was typical douchebag, young artist guy, tenor guys who just kept
hitting on her, and then she was way out of my league, and then of course she was like, no, God no, and then after I stopped giving the full court press, I was kind of like, hey. Sorry about that. I just want to be your friend. And as soon as I just was friends with her, of course, and just like myself and not so, wrenched up and trying to be that guy, then she was like, oh, he's not quite as bad as I thought. So she accepted me into her world, and then we fell in love. And then I definitely then did not want to move back to New York, move to New York.
Is she from
she's
LA?
not. She's from LA. She's from Santa Cruz. So
okay. Oh, that looks like a good beer. Is that an IPA?
It's not an IPA. It's actually a triple. It's a Belgian style triple.
Nice.
My favorite. Yeah, it's a prankster. It's from North Coast Brewery.
Yeah, I know.
Out of Mendocino.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Justin Hopkins is in the cast.
Yes. Oh my God. But he lives in Germany or Switzerland right now, isn't he?
Yeah, Chaz is in it. Chaz Williams. Ali is in it. Do you know him?
Who?
Chaz Williams Ali. Do you know him? Chasman?
No.
I know him. He's done some stuff here. He's tenor.
Okay, no, I don't know.
Daniel Belcher.
The name rings a bell. Okay.
Markel Reed. I don't know some of these singers. I'm excited to meet them all. Brianna J. Robinson.
Okay.
Mandolin Bottoms. Elliot Page. And Babatunde Akinbaboye. Damn, I love saying his name. It just rolls off. I love it.
It does. It's like Babatunde?
Babatunde. He's a badass. I am excited to reconnect with him. It'll be really fun. So, Rihab Chaieb. Did I say it right?
Todd Strange.
So I didn't realize. So you're Canada. You're COC.
Yes.
Also,
I'm COC.
That's a super cool club.
Yes. I went to McGill. So I'm from Montreal initially, but then I just needed to leave Montreal, and I needed to leave the whole francophone bubble, and I went to the COC after my bachelor, and I didn't speak a word of English. It was so bad. It was like, hello, my name is Rihab Chaieb, like Céline Dion, and it's her birthday tomorrow. And my English was awful, and that was 2010. So I did 3 years there.
Wow.
3 years there, and then I had like 2 years of almost no work. I was on social welfare. I went from singing Sesto in La Clemenza di Tito at the COC one season in 2013 to the next season selling subscription at the COC because I had no work.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I had no work. So I was on the phone with these people, and they're like, oh, what and I'm like, well, I would recommend this. And how would you know? Well, actually, I'm a singer. I sang this. And they're like, oh, we saw you. And I'm like, yes. And here I am selling subscription to you. So buy the motherfucking ticket, But,
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did the COC. It was great.
That's good though. It's a good story actually, because it just goes to show you never know where this goes. You never know where it goes.
As I feel as singers and musicians or artists, we always every single day we wake up and we're like, oh my God, this is so hard. It's so hard. Do I want to continue? And sometimes it feels like you're just about to quit, And that was one of the time where I was selling subscription after singing, the season before singing with, Christopher Alden production.
Yeah, and they do beautiful. It's one of the best opera companies in the world and some of the best singers in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's home, it's Canada, it's great. I love Toronto, but it really felt, my years in Toronto were really tough anyway, because it felt like what's next, that I didn't see really quite the progression. So it was really tough. I almost stopped, actually. I almost stop daily. Every morning I'm like, I have to stop, or I want to come back. I want to go on, because it's so hard. It's not an easy life. This.
No, I do. I've never done the circuit, but I've certainly done many versions. And I think it's
Yeah.
It's just that times 12. I mean, which that's got to be enough to. I think our two careers, like they're hard in. They're hard in the sense that
Different
we
ways,
chose
yeah.
this. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I have to be on all the time. My voice has
Yeah.
to be on just, and I overuse it. And so I don't get downtime. That's the thing that sucks about, I think what we do is we're always using our voices.
I know.
Yeah.
Especially
And I
in
think,
ensembles.
and it's a different muscle literally. And then it kind of fucks up your classical technique too, because there's like, I mean, people don't talk about it, but there's like high laryngeal stuff that has to happen for like what I have to do in a movie session to blend. You have to, it's gotta go up. You can't just like slam that thing down, be like, nope, it's like, bye. So you have to like
Very shallow. It's a
very shallow white
space.
sound, and so then, yeah, and you're going at night to sing opera chorus or like,
Yeah.
when it's for the master chorale, it's somewhere I would say it's a floating larynx. And then, somewhere when we're in opera chorus, then we get to like tilt and go. But that also messes the airflow up, You know what I'm saying? I talk about that with my students. Like it does mess kind of the airflow up about how much goes over this thing over time. And then you're talking, it's like all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole dance every day. But anyway, people don't want to hear about that. Anyway,
have you been in the Master Chorale when I was there? Like, did we do any shows together?
Yeah, just this last summer.
Phil?
Yeah, the last summer.
So you were in the Beethoven 9.
Beethoven 9 and Verdi Requiem. When you did Verdi Requiem, that blew me away. I was so blown away. I was like, she sings a Verdi Requiem? I was like, and then you sang.
You didn't know me before? I thought we did. Weren't you in Nozze?
Yeah, I was in Nozze. That's when I first met you. But I was like, oh, Cherubino, because you sound it was so crystalline and so spinny. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. She's a Cherubino. And then all of a sudden I see you at the Verdi Requiem. I'm like, what the fuck? And then you dropped the hammer. I was like, oh, sweet. And then I started following you on social media, and I was like, oh, she sings it all. I was like, this is great. And then you were so consistent, and then I was really a fan. Then I was just like fangirling. I was like, oh my god, she's really good. Yeah, I really got. I got a little like, I was like, because I like mezzos, and I was like, she's good. She knows what she's. It's balanced and all this stuff, and so I got real nerdy on it, and then followed you a bit, and then. The fact I was right behind y'all for the Beethoven 9, and I know Anthony, so I was like, hey, dude, you guys sound amazing.
I remember
yeah.
that.
And I'm a big fan of Anthony's voice too, and he's so nice, and I'm so glad. It's nice when you see good people do well and sing so beautifully, and he's doing so well. So
stay nice.
Stay nice as a tenor too, because man, I love to make fun of what I once was, like in my 20s. And I remember I always say, don't do what I did in my 20s and 30s and be that guy.
What did you do?
Nothing really, but just I was tenor. I just know how you get drunk, you get a little drunk with power, like many tenors do, and then you feed into the sound too. They're like, well, you're a baby Helden, which was bullshit, by the way. But I fed into that, and I was like, really singing with a lot of bravado and whatnot.
You
and
gotta
acting.
cut through the noise. You gotta delete the noise.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's the thing is, if you sing well, and then if you sing well, you can sing a lot of things, and you can sing a lot of different things, and that's when people start giving you their true sense. Which is why I personally think in my season I can sing Verdi, Monteverdi, Handel, Mozart, Bizet, and Massenet, without a problem. But yeah, it's hard as a young singer to just cut through the shit and
stay true to your guns and know your voice,
guns, right?
Yeah,
and have a team that cares for you, not cares about your money.
I don't think a lot. Yeah, I think only you can really care the most for you have to really surround yourself with one or two people. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm grateful to have a wife that kind of puts me on the ground. Courtney's awesome and puts up with no shit, which is awesome. And even going into all this weird stuff that I'm going into, she's been very supportive, but she's also kind of kept me grounded through it all too. Because,
what I don't really.
What's that?
Behind every great man,
Yeah, well, no, I'm not a great man. I'm just glad to be in the room. I'm just like, thanks for sticking with my bullshit, for this long. We've been married since 2012. So we've had and we've been here for a long time. I didn't think it was, I didn't know it was going to go down this way. I didn't know and I still don't know I'm just glad to be singing
I think that's the
healthfully.
beauty of it, right? You kind of just,
Yeah.
the destination is never the
Yeah.
point, the journey,
But we don't stop and look at it, as much as we should. I think because
It's
we're
just
always,
interesting. That's
yeah.
why I'm like, there's two types of singers, right? There's the singers who love to rehearse and the singers who hate to rehearse.
Yes.
I have to say, I think in North America we over rehearse, and I think in Europe we under rehearse. I love to rehearse because it gives you carte blanche, like to just try things out, and to
But
try things out with your voice. So I love the journey. I love a rehearsal. Period.
I do too. I like to rehearse certain things that sometimes we don't get to rehearse in opera. I do like to rehearse character stuff and acting a little bit more than we get to do in opera.
Yeah.
Sometimes we over rehearse the music, or then it's so structured in the music that we don't get the opportunity to try stuff. It's the same every time because it's more about
I know
reps for the conductor or for the music staff
Right.
or what. And you have a lot of opinions in the room, and that
I
often
know.
affects. And those opinions are money, right? So especially if it's a new production, so there's a lot of layers to it all, and you're kind of just a, for lack of a better word, you're kind of a soldier in the cog of it
puppet,
all.
yeah,
You're kind of like, all right,
Okay.
I'm there.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I like a rehearsal. I just like to be on stage. I just
Yeah.
realize I am somebody who needs to be on stage and perform and whatnot. You too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the it's like a drug,
I know. For
it's
me
kind
too.
of it's the adrenaline because it's like at first it's like almost gets you sick. You're always like, so to me, okay, this is way TMI, but used to, I'm better now because I feel like I have a better control of myself, of my nerve, of the adrenaline and all of that. But sometimes
Yeah.
like, for like big roles or like big premieres, like I get the shits, I get like dire.
Oh, me
Like,
too. I get the shits
I
too.
get the
Yeah.
shits. Oh my
It's
God,
the
I'm like,
worst.
oh my God.
Yay. First
Fun.
IBS talk. I love this now.
Yes.
Cheers
Oh,
to
in
you.
the show, first time ever. You know what? There's one thing I love to talk about is poop.
Me too.
Whether human
The
or
poop
dog,
stories.
or just, I love poop. I'm obsessed with poop. And I love the German toilet where it has like the shelf where you can just like analyze your poop.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
all for that.
take a minute, just
Take a
take a
minute.
breath,
And it's
or maybe
true.
don't take a breath, but
You'll
yeah.
see everything you're going through in your life, like metaphysically and spiritually and physically, it's going to be in your poop.
It's like the tree years and the rings. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
So anyway,
layers.
I love talking about poop, but I just no, I love being on stage. I love being on stage. I also love trying things out. I love the energy of the audience.
Me too.
I love and it's so interesting because like I've always told that for me an audience is like a alien blob, because it's like I know what, there's a movie, what's that movie where it's like these two big alien thing and there's like an alien energy that you can't
Is
really
it
see.
Leviathan? No.
No, it's oh,
But I know what you mean. I do know that it kind of is this weird blob of energy. Kind
and
of
it's
like,
like you kind of feel them, they're there, they don't want to hurt you,
Yeah.
they just want the best of you,
yeah.
but you don't interact with them. So it's kind of this like, I'm giving all of this to this black hole energy alien, and a black hole energy alien gives me the energy back, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
a
It's symbiotic. It's a give and take. It's all that stuff. I totally get it. Yeah. It exists in most performing arts. And I agree with you, especially in singing. And I do notice it in comedy too, as transfer of energy.
Exactly, especially
Yeah.
in comedy. And coming back a bit to what you're saying is that you're like, oh, singing Carabino and then a lot. I only ever sing comedy in North America because I have never gotten Mozart in Europe. or like Rossini or anything funny. I've only got them here, which is super interesting.
It's so, you're such a good personality, and I feel
But
like
because
you
in
are
Europe,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
but in Europe they cast like very, very small voices for Mozart.
Yeah. But
You
it's
know,
more about that Fox system than it is. I think they see a character with you here. I think they see like
right.
you as a person. They're like, oh
As a
my God,
person.
Hughes, you're spunky. You have like this so much fun, and you love this shit, and like get her up there. She has
Yeah.
good timing. And I think somebody sees that and says, you know, like someone like, well, I know Paul Hopper. We've done yaps together, so that's a whole story.
Really?
We lived. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Was he?
But like,
Oh, he was a baritone, right?
no, tenor.
I was a tenor as well. Oh, okay.
Paul's a tenor, yeah, and Logan's a baritone, and I did a summer
Is
with
that his
Logan.
husband?
I did a summer with Logan too.
Oh, that's so funny.
I love them. So
Yeah,
like,
I
but
I think so.
yeah,
But actually, you know, I got Turbino from Josh previous.
that makes sense because Josh looks for those kinds of things. I think
Yeah.
Josh notices. Josh Winograde notices those kinds of qualities and notices like what's going to make a good character to tell the story.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
he's like,
And this
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, this Dorabella was Paul, so it was like, oh, okay, like I did 2 of the trilogy, the Ponte trilogy. I'm really happy. I do, yeah, being on stage and doing a funny role it's very hard. I think it's much harder than like dramatic because it's all about timing. There's always a time you have to be on. Sometimes, you know, and this is, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to say, but sometimes like when I sing Carmen or I sing like normal roles or like, you know, drama, and I can just turn around and be like take a breather, like as me or whatever. And even though you're not supposed to, you can. But as in comedy, you just can't. You
See,
can't because everyone you have to constantly be not acting but reacting, right? Like when during Come Scoglio, like I'm as busy as the soprano because she's busy singing and I'm busy like reacting to all of these other people and reacting to her and carrying the plot a step further, right?
yeah, I think that's where it's different. So weirdly, I sing comedic roles better because I'm not thinking about the vocalism as much because it doesn't have this like this holy shit moment. You have to sing this high C
Absolutely.
or this high B. But if a high B just like screams out at me during a comedic aria, which is like no big deal usually, it's because I'm not thinking about it and I'm
Because
having
you're not
fun
thinking
within the
That's
timing
it.
and the characters. So for me, it's the opposite where it's like I'm more like when I'm just dicking around as the server in Cozy and just having fun and doing bits. I'm like, that is kind of like what I like to do when I'm singing sometimes on stage. Loosens the whatever mechanism that I had problems with. I was always said, no, you're not a character tenor. You're a lyric. You know, you're a full lyric. You should be singing leading man roles. And I did for a long time, and it was really fun, and I love that music. But damn, you know, just with the claw and standing and, you know, it's fun, but damn, you know, it's like I love having fun on stage and just telling fart jokes, you know.
That's the thing. I feel like you should and could have both, right? Like
Yeah.
that's why like you know, when you heard me sing like the Verdi Requiem is my shit, is my jam.
It's so
I love
good.
this
It's
stuff.
the best
And I
piece
do
of music
sing-
ever. It's the best piece of music ever. Hands down.
And I do sing
No
heavy
better.
repertoire. But I've always been pretty good at like keeping one or two Mozart a year just to keep the freshness because you can't sing. You can't be like out there singing like 15 Carmens and then go and do Cherubino and like
Sparkle.
Cherubino just it's like a reset button because you have to like your voice, your larynx can't be stuck.
Yeah.
You can't have you know what I mean. Of course you can, but for it to be floaty and movie and buoyant, like to have buoyancy.
Yeah.
You have
natural sound. Yeah.
natural sound. So for me, Mozart is way more difficult, actually, technically. Dorabella is way more difficult than Carmen, hands down.
What did Arturo? Do you know Arturo Chacon Cruz?
We're singing Carmen together next year.
Amazing! He's one of my favorite people. I love
I've never
Arturo.
met him.
He's so great. I really like him. He said we were talking in the green room one day, just randomly, and he was like, oof. He was just like, oof, you know, doing one of these. I was like, what's up? And he's like, well, I'm, you know, contemplating just doing my first Manrico, you know, and I was like, he's been doing it now for a minute. And I was like, yeah, shit, dude. I was like, shit, dude. Yeah, it's a big one. He goes, once you go there, there's just no going back. I said, yeah, it's true with some of those.
Annoying, huh? Isn't that sad?
It's true though. It's like there are certain roles that once you get like kind of pigeonholed into, even if you can sing out of it, it's like
bingo.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been very careful about not accepting too many Carmens.
Yeah, because
just doing like 2 Carmens a year, not more. I have friends who do like 12 Carmens a year, and that's all they do. And I refuse because I get bored. I get bored so easily, and I'm like,
sure,
no, dude, just Carmen.
Same also, show, yeah.
If you go, like, he's totally right. He's like, if you start going to these bigger roles, people will stop hiring. And it's really sad. I find that so sad because.
Well, it just seems like it's nice to see like this cast, right? It's nice to see Rob. Yeah. It's nice to see Anna Maria. Like, it's nice to see this cast. Like, I'm like, this is awesome, and they are coming back to Mozart, and they do go back to like lyric stuff that's amazing and all that. Hey, I want to know some stories. Do you have some good stories on stage? Something that like where something went crazy?
I've written them because I've written a few because I have bad memory. I mean, it's so funny. I'm like, I have bad memory, but actually I'm memory enough to like remember 3 hours and a half opera. Actually, no, 4 hours at least Tempe.
I have one that I haven't shared on the podcast that I'll share with you.
Like never, ever? Okay, go.
I've only done 6 or 7 episodes. This is brand new. This whole thing is I just started this to get better on the mic and just to get better at riffing and talking to people and also because I wanted to like, I don't get to hang out as much as I used to. I'm super social. I miss getting to know a lot of opera singers that I come into contact with and just performers. And I think it's important to like stay in contact, to foster it somehow, keep it going, and just to like, I want to hear your stories. It's like get to know people and hear their stories. I think it's fun.
But also, like, what's sad is that like most of us, some of the cast have like families and babies and spouses and blah blah blah. But some of us are just here. We're alone, right? Like we're here, and I know all the time, like the chorus or the young artists or people are like, oh, I hung out a few times with Peter Walsh, and he's like nervous to like ask. He didn't ask me out, but he was like, do you want to go for a drink or do you want to go for a lunch? And I think people are nervous to ask us out, but we just want, So I started just being like, hey, do you want to go for a drink? Or hey, do you want to go? But it's easier for us with the cast. With you guys, it's like another department. It feels like another department,
Things are different than they used to be, I think, in general. Like I would say I came up through generations of opera singers that have, it's changed over a bit. And I would just say that it's gotten like, we used to go out all the time in San Diego, like every night. And it was, but I think because we've swung the pendulum, political stuff, and I think it's partially that. I think it's partially the social. I really think it's like, I think things kind of like, I think Me Too, not in a bad way, but I just think everybody got like, whoa. And then it just, everything got so swung, so hard. And then people got tired, and then people just kind of like everyone was afraid. There was almost like people were afraid to have fun, if I dare say that. Yeah. And I think me being like, the demographic that I am, I was like, I just want to do my job and get through this shit, and just do my thing. But, we used to go out. I want to say we went out with principals and everybody, Conlon, everybody, almost every single like rehearsal and show and dancing and like parties, and like there were parties up on the grand floor. Like Placido used to like fit the bill for these huge parties that would be like company wide and just like open bar and food and like the whole bit. And we would do it like twice a year. And one time we would do it, we used to do it out on the plaza with a barbecue situation. Everyone would like hang out. Yep.
And there's my barbecue.
It was exactly. Well, I mean, we do the league meal and stuff. We'd still do that, but it was like, this was in addition. And it was mostly, I'll just be honest, it was mostly because that was kind of Placido Domingo's deal. Like he would, for better,
Like,
I know a lot of things have happened and everything, and I don't, we don't need to get into that, but that was a thing that was regular when he was part of the company. That was a thing that was regular before pandemic. That was a thing that was regular. Actually, I was going to say not Me Too so much as pandemic. I don't think it was Me Too that stopped anything, but pandemic, like on top of that. And then
coming back to what we were saying at the beginning of this is that nothing's open. Nothing's open anymore, right? So like people, even though we want to go out, it's like, okay, at this point we'd have to get a car.
You got to see lights on somewhere. Yeah.
You know,
you got to see lights on across the street. Say, hey, you want to go get a drink? Like, hey, look, some people are hanging out. Like,
whatever.
Yeah. But if you have to be the starter of every event, it's like shit. So yeah, So I have a story. You want to start? You want me to start? You want to
okay, I'll
story?
Start, and then you go.
Start.
So
it's about you. So tell me 2 or 3.
So it's like,
congrats on the Met, by the way. I didn't tell you that.
Like sad or like weird, or it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's called Strange Stories from the Stage, but I think funny's always good, but whatever you want.
Okay, so there's a big one. This is probably the strangest / funny / sad / everything. This is 2016. It's my second year at the Lindemann Young Artist Program at the Metropolitan Opera, and it's my Met debut, singing Zulma in L'Italiana in Algérie.
I love that show.
By Rossini, and it's an old Jean-Pierre Ponel production, and Jimmy conducting. And this is our last show. And we've had like a run of like 8 or whatever show, and this was our last show. And it was a Saturday night. And Saturdays at the time, I don't know if they do it still now, but there's 2 shows a day. There's the afternoon show, and then there's the evening show. And what they did at the time is that it was like a full double bill of Rossini. It was Guillaume Tell in the afternoon with, Gerald Finley, Janai Brugger, like a great cast. Who's that guy? I want to say Eric Cutler. Maybe that's him, Eric Cutler, and I don't remember. Anyway,
so far though, amazing
like,
cast.
Great cast.
Yeah.
And then we were the evening show, the evening Rossini, James Levine, Rene Barbera, Abrazakov, me, Ying Fang. A great cast, like super fun. And
Jeez.
that was the show that my parents and my family came to from Montreal. So they flew from Montreal to see this last show, and I had a lot of people in the audience. And also being the social butterfly that I am, I've just, I've called Fiorello in front of the house, and I reserved the entire, there's like the Domingo room, the Placido Domingo back room, kind of private room. I've reserved everything for the party after. Anyway, 5 p.m., 5 o'clock arrives, and I get a call from the Met being like, whatever you hear online or whatever happens, do not come at the opera. Don't step foot at the Lincoln Center. I'm like, what's happening? And then of course I go online and I see like FBI, SWAT team, the whole thing, like CIA, police, ambulance, the whole thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I read anthrax threats at the Metropolitan Opera, and I'm freaking out, like what's happening? And as like the hour goes on, because my call was like something like 6 or 6:30, and I was like, do I go? Do I not go? And they're like, we'll keep you posted. And basically what happened, I don't know if you've read that in the news, but during the afternoon show of Guillaume Tell, there's this Uber fan went during the second intermission, went and sprinkled the ashes of his best friend in
I heard about this.
And then the orchestra member came back, and there was like some white powder on their instruments, being like, what? And so they had to cancel our last show. They canceled the remainder of the Guillaume Tell, and they fully canceled the last show of Italiana. So it's like a weird story. It's very strange. I remember Peter Galps making a statement being like, we appreciate your love of opera, but please leave your ashes at home, kind of thing. And I'm like, for you to like love opera this much that you have to like, I'm sorry, but be dumb about it.
Dude.
So people are like just weird. I feel like opera fans, there's like normal fans. And I feel like there's football fans, and then there's like opera fans that's like just hovering up there. And then they do the weirdest thing. I've gotten some weird stories from weird opera fans, you know, like the opera fans.
Give me one. Give me like your weirdest opera fan story. What's the weirdest thing?
Well, okay, now I'm like, okay, so it's not weird, but it's for example, I have a few stories. So there's this, she's lovely, and I actually love her because we became like friends. But every time I sing at the Met, there's this woman who is at the back, the stage door of the Met every single night and has chocolate for every single singer. And like I just did Rigoletto. She came to I think we had 6 shows. She came to 5 of the 6 shows. And she, not just for me, like I think she's there every single night. You know, and she comes in and she just gives me my chocolate raspberry chocolate. And she knows now, and she's like, you know, and so there's that. I was in Houston and during a show, and I arrived, and there's an envelope for me, and it's like to be signed, you know, and I'm like, for whom? And then this like fan online that wrote me a message, and he was like, I'm such a fan of you. Can you? And he like took photos of me online, blew them up, these like massive poster kind of. And it's like, can you sign them and send it back to me? And I'm like, do I do this? Like, or do I, you know, there's like, what's the line?
I mean, it's not weird. It's not like it's
weird, but it's
kink.
Like, is it?
Well, I don't know. It might be. I mean, it's suspect kink.
I mean, I don't think it's kink, but it's a bit sus.
It's sus. It's not.
You could say that sus. I don't know, but it's, to me, that guy with the sprinkled ashes was like
it goes beyond.
It's just Anyway, so that's one of the stories. I had another story that was. It's like again not. I don't feel like I have a lot of funny stories, but I have a lot of mishap, like a lot of things that happens on stage. So I was doing Akhenaten. Well, the same production that you guys have here, but at the Met, Anthony. And you know, there's a beautiful duet where like we slow walk like this, and then we like come together, come to the front, and then we kind of just like part ways like this, and we have like long train, like a long red robe.
Yes, the fabric.
And we're just at the fabric, and we're just slowly like walking seamlessly, and the fabric just kind of like stretches, and it goes on. You know that thing. You know, some people are superstitious, and they have to go on the stage to find a nail.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that? You know?
Yeah.
Of course. You have to find a nail.
Yeah,
I'm not a superstitious person. But I'm like slowly walking, and then I come to a halt, and I'm like halfway to. I have still like half of the stage, and the stage of the Met is huge. I'm still having half of the stage to go, and I'm like, and I can't. And it's like this, and the whole body just goes, and it's just kind of in character. And I see the nail, and I'm like,
oh shit!
And I'm just like, and then I take my hand and I try, and this is all slow motion because it's, you know, So I'm doing this, and this, and this, and at one point I'm like, it's like the new scene. There's a new scene. I turn, I'm like, fuck, fucking hell, and I just run out.
Yeah. What?
Stop the whole thing. I heard some chuckles because it's like not in character, but I was like, I'm stuck here. Someone deliver me, you know, like someone help me. But that's a fine story.
We're doing Philip Glass. We were doing Satyagraha, and there's this moment where we're supposed to put these lanterns on fishing hooks, and it basically on fishing line, and it like raises. They mystically raise up, and it looks so beautiful, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so beautiful!" And this one fucking night, there's supposed to be one person that goes in to start the whole thing, and that person didn't go for whatever reason.
Oh, no.
And so it was kind of this like, should we go? Should we? What's happening? Should we go? And nobody went. And then the hooks came down, and then they started to go up. The best part is, like, it was as if Tech said, "Hey, are you sure?" Like, the hooks went back down for a second, like, and did a little dangle, like, "Are you sure?"
I'm
And
here.
and they paused. And it's like, well, fuck it. And they just went up. And then it was like, no, yeah, it didn't happen. We all get into a single file line after that. And we're singing some, Sanskrit, something. It's not the ha-has. It's like,
No, it's
shmur, shmur, shah, shah, it's something. Where we're just like, oh, fuck, what is it? What is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I've done some Agraha as well. It's such a great show, though. Yeah.
it's so amazing. The production is so beautiful, but we were laughing. We were just trying to get through that shit, holding our lanterns, going off stage like, oh shit, we didn't, It was hilarious. It was one of those moments where it's just like, and it happened. The guy that didn't do it was the guy that, would have been the guy not to do it, not to lead the charge. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a guy that's like, damn it.
He's like airhead,
Not
like
really, but he's nervous about it. He's nervous about messing it up. And so it would be him. Yeah, that it was like.
So so I said earlier I'm not superstitious, but actually, it's not that I am, but there's a thing about messing things up, right? I always go in a show thinking, even if you want it to be perfect and you don't want to mess anything up, you will mess up. That's either it's a word, it's a wrong note, it's the wrong rhythm, it's like something you're not supposed to be, you're slightly staged right or staged, there's always something that's gonna happen. You might crack a note. So to kind of like get me at my own game, because I'll be like this friend of yours, this guy with the lantern. He was probably so nervous of fucking it up, he actually fucked it up. And it was a little bit like this was I'm just so nervous, especially technically, like vocally, and to do like, oh my God, I'm so afraid of like the crack, whatever crack it's going to be. Sometimes there's no crack, but I was just so nervous the entire show for a potential crack that what I started doing is really early on in the show, deliberately make a mistake and to be like, and in my head, I'm like, see, I've done that mistake now. Now I can just focus on the
That's
show.
Smart. I think that's good.
So I just do something like, and it doesn't have to be a crack, but it's just being like, just, whatever, something small, like a small mistake, but almost deliberately. And I said that to Christopher Coach actually 2 shows ago. Yeah, because we're talking about nerves and actually we're talking about tennis because I have a tennis hat and he's like, do you like tennis? And I said, yeah. And I do like watching tennis because my old voice teacher, my previous voice teacher told me to watch tennis. I'm like, why? And she's like, it's really like singing because you can start like shit, but then like you decide, no, I'm not gonna let myself get down. And in one match, you have a huge comeback,
5 sets.
That's it. It's a long game. It's a physical game, but it's also such a mental game. But if you start and you're like, oh yeah, I got it. You make one mistake and then you start getting into your head, you can lose that game. And I think it's the same thing in singing. And I told him about this story that sometimes when I'm really nervous about perfection and about delivering a certain level or the note or the technique, I deliberately crack or I deliberately make a mistake. So I
so
tell
smart.
Myself, see, you've done it. Now move on. Now
it's so smart.
do your job. It's the weirdest thing, and I haven't heard anybody do it, but I started subconsciously doing that. Until one day I realized, oh my God, I actually am making that mistake on purpose. So I can so then there's like a lift, there's like a weight that's like lifted, and I'm like,
yeah.
And like you, I can just enjoy and do my thing, right?
Yeah, there's an adrenaline rush about that happening that like, for me, like sometimes it'll make me mad at first when the mistake happens, and then it puts me into this ultra clarity, like cocaine mode where you're like, everything's clear. You're like, I've got this, and then all of a sudden your voice is there and everything's there and everything's clear. And I think that's the moment. I mean, if you can like put your mind into that place, without, early on, I mean, it's like when a joke goes awry or whatever, sometimes, or when a note goes awry, I that's more relatable because I've sung way more than I've told jokes, but there is something about the relationship of the two that I've really noticed since I've been doing it. But yeah,
like
once something, well, planning a set is like planning a mini recital, and it's tempo
Yeah, yeah.
cadence, and it's a musical phrase, and it's, it's up and it's down and it's one and it's two and it's pause, then three, and then it's, little, it's da 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 da, and little ebbs and flows. It's just a musical phrase and rhythm.
And do you
It's
have
rhythm.
to wait? You have to wait for people applause or laugh the way like we wait for applause or laugh.
Just
right?
like Anna Maria needs to, before the aria is done, it's like da 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 da. It's the same move, it's the same thing. If you can like make because everyone's like, oh, how do you do that? I'm like, it's the same thing, dude. It's like when you have to make a vocal reel for like movie shit, you have to think about the tempo. You're like, I put something slow, I put something fast, I put something pop, I put something opera, I put something popera in between to link them up, and then you're like, just logical shit, you're like, how do people think? And then you have to be like, that's another thing, is read the room and how do people think. We're experts, or should be at this point. We should be experts at reading the room and knowing how to schmooze, knowing how to deal with the room after the thing, not looking like an asshole, knowing when to grab the food, knowing when to leave, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's that, it's just that, it's that clarity that you put to the stage as a comedian, I think.
Do you swear in your comedy?
I do, and I'm trying to get more clean because I think it's more marketable to be a clean comic. But I was
one of my very good friends is like the OG clean comedian because he's Mormon, Ryan Hamilton.
No way. I was born and raised Mormon.
Oh.
Yeah, I was born and raised Mormon.
Utah?
No, Little Utah, Northern California. It's the same thing.
North Carolina, no?
No, my sister. No, Northern California.
Oh, okay.
Not Carolina.
Earlier you said NorCal.
You meant Northern California. Not North Carolina. My sister, ironically, lives in North Carolina, but that's anyway. Yeah. Northern California.
That's interesting. Well, of course, I don't think he's like a practicing Mormon or he's a Mormon anymore, but he's very heavily Mormon that, he doesn't even doesn't drink coffee.
Yeah.
And he doesn't swear. He does clean comedy. And at first I was like, oh my God, it must be so boring. But actually it is not, because what I've realized, because thanks to him, I've been going to, the Comedy Cellar and the Village Vanguard and hanging out and looking and hearing different comedians. The one that swears so much is just, to me, is just a coping mechanism almost, or it's like something to distract from the real substance.
It can be, yeah.
Because when you don't swear, or like when most of your stuff is, when you don't rely on swearing and like vulgar stuff, then you actually have to deal with substance. And I think that's so much more interesting, intellectual than just like for laughs, or for how do you say? It's a shock
value.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's a big thing there, right? It's a big discussion in the comedy community. Is like, yeah, because like you can like make more money as a clean comedian doing corporate events and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, if you're just dirty, I have a hard time. I get nervous and I fuck. It's like,
right. It's like Tourette syndrome.
It is. It's like ADHD meets Todd's brain, and it's like, fuck, shit. Oh my God, what am I saying? Sorry, Mom, up there, Dad, everybody, right. Shit, and then you're going and you're adding shits and fucks instead of ums because you think it might be funny. And it sometimes is. I'll be really honest. Like sometimes there's the way you say the F word can be incredibly impactful, incredibly hilarious if it's timed well, and if it's stuck into a sentence in a certain way, it just perfect. It's like golden. Damn, golden. And sometimes that joke won't hit. It won't land if you don't have it in there, and you've said it both ways just to try it and stuff. But I ultimately think that, I watch Nate Bargatze and some of these people that don't swear, and they're brilliant. And it takes a lot more work to be able to do it without, I watch everything. I've seen Kill Tony. I've seen, all of it. I've gone down the gamut to see it all. Yeah. And I've been in these clubs where they talk about outlandish shit. And you're just like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing, but it's shock value.
It's
Yeah.
all about, like, it's okay. So in White Lotus, like when Rick is like meeting his friend from, and the whole thing about
speech.
like, women,
Yeah.
the speech, he's like, and it's just like, oh my God, like, it's not even funny anymore. It's just like sad almost, but what do you think about, so I like Ryan, of course. I like Mo, Mo,
Yeah.
and also, so there's a comedian that I like who most of her stuff is so deep that it's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to cry or laugh. Hannah.
Is she a violist? No.
No. She's quite a big deal. She had that TV show. She was in that Ricky Gervais TV show, like the one about his wife dying of cancer.
Well, yes.
Hannah Gadsby, is that her?
Yes, I think that's her.
Is that who you were talking about earlier?
No,
wait, Hannah. Yeah, Hannah Gadsby, exactly. Australian comedian, and she had like her show called, what was it called?
She's more of a storyteller though, right? I mean, she kind of tells stories that are just kind of like,
yeah, but it's like a full-on stand-up comedy, like, and I don't think she swears. She like you said, like she says one or two words, but
yeah,
I love comedy that when it comes from like such a deep, like,
I do too,
vulnerable place. Because again, it's like, should I cry or should I laugh? Because most of the sad things that happen, most of the really horrible things that happen in our lives, we can also laugh about it, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. I think that's why I wanted to talk about the trauma of kind of being an opera singer, if that makes sense, and just all the stuff we've
podcasts about, because I have a
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of what, like, the reason I got into comedy was because I wanted to write about what we do and the silliness of what we do that we have to take so seriously, but then
right,
some people still can't jump out of it and laugh at it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's still like, fuck, if you laugh at this, it's like, shut up, like, just relax, unclench.
I mean, I think Cozy or Mozart, or like, but especially Cozy, because it's so silly. It's kind of dumb.
Oh, it's
it's kind of
stupid.
dumb.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm 38 years old, getting paid to sing this very silly story,
like bad sitcom. Yeah,
exactly. And that's my life. And but then for a while I was so nervous about, like, being with Maestro and do my technique and blah blah blah. And then it's like, sure, yes, you have to do your job, but I'm like,
for me it was the
dumb that it's funny. It's like, and that's when you, like, again, coming back to what you were saying, it's just like, it's so silly that you're like, I'm just gonna have fun, because at this point I don't know if the audience knows what's going on, care. They bought their ticket, great, but at least I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun with my friends on stage. I'm gonna be silly. I'm gonna, at least if I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for me, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I got. That's where I got to, the place I got to after the last time I did the Trump role.
Well,
it's like over it.
That was so hard to do. Like, this is like, the epitome of evil, and singing such an evil role.
I just started doing comedy. I started doing my, like, impression of him after, and that's when I started my comedy stuff. Was literally the day of the first performance. I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't know, something clicked in me. I was like, why am I not? I should be making. It just, like, all I was being picked for anywhere was like new opera. So I was kind of like getting, it was like,
Well, you can do quite well. I do a few new opera once in a while,
Yeah, I love it, but like what we train, and also what I say is, like, what we train to do versus what we end up doing sometimes is completely different. Like, had I not been in the master chorale and been able to count and sight read and do all that kind of shit, like, I would have had a coach have to bang this into my brain. It's like, the fact that I don't have time for that. But thank God I have to, like, look at charts and read them on site half the time. It's like, thank God I have those intervals locked in, or I'd kind of be screwed because I don't have time or money to, like, to go over to Peter's house, 3 or 4 days in a week and lock it in. It's like, that doesn't happen. Like, a lot of us don't have time for that when we have to do both.
Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, yesterday, like at 10 in the morning, whenever after we had the show, right? And then the next morning I was I was at the DCP coaching with Julian for, my next gig. And it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had stories. I mean, one of the most awful stories, not awful, but just mind blowing and eye opening, was that I had someone at my school, like the head of the opera school, called me Thingy for my entire bachelor. He refused to learn my name, so he called me Thingy, and then he told me that I'll never have a career. And
Well,
so
that's rude.
every single day, I know, but there's a lot of rude people. There's a lot of rude people. There's a lot of people that will give you their opinion, and you don't ask for it. That's how I also feel about reviews. I personally love to read reviews because
I do too.
I mean, as a singer, if you did well or not, right? I think that's kind of, and so the opinion of some troll in their mother's basement should matter. Should not matter, because what if you did well or not. But then once in a while, I just assume that reviews were going to be good. I always assume the reviews are going to be good. And now most reviewers, they don't even know how to review. They just tell me the story. I'm like, I don't need the fucking story. I know what the story is.
How was my passaggio? Could you please tell me? Please tell me.
How was my Limoncello aria?
Yeah, exactly.
That was my one cracked note that I
was
did.
A Cabaletta, please.
Like people don't know how to, and this is, I'm saying it publicly. Critics, there's only a handful of great opera critics now, or classical music critics, but now they're just, again, trolls in their mother basement. They've never had sex in their lives, and then they tell me how I did. No, sir.
And it's a book report half the time too. Just a book like, this is what happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is not a review. This is just a synopsis. But guess what? I can just go at laopera.org and learn the synopsis. I can go on Wikipedia and learn the synopsis. I don't need to read, or subscription to the Los Angeles Times to read what Cosey's about. Anyway, but once in a while you have not a shitty review, but or you have a bad review and you're like, And I always give myself 24 hours of grief and wallow, and I buy myself something real nice.
I do that too. When shit goes wrong, I do the same.
Then I'm like, because then I associate bad reviews, feeling bad with oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy myself a very expensive bottle of wine, very nice bag, nice shoes. Of course, it doesn't happen often because you hopefully don't have bad reviews all the time. But now I'm like, if you want to write a bad review, bring it on, because the only person that's going to benefit is me. I'm going to have a new handbag. I'm going to have a new shoe. I'm going to upgrade myself to business class. So
what's the bag? What's the bag you're going to buy? What is it? What's the bag?
Well, I don't have bad reviews. I'm waiting.
So I don't have a good bag yet, but
but one of my worst was the French, and I'm francophone. And it was in 2018.
You remember this?
Oh, those stories, because especially your first bad review, right? And it wasn't bad because they said that my singing was glorious, but it was an all French cast, and it was in Montpellier, south of France, and we're doing Fantasio, the Offenbach, Fantasio. It was the anniversary of Offenbach, and everyone did all his obscure opera, including Fantasio, which is actually a really cute and nice opera.
Is it operetta or is it like opera?
Well, it's like a little operetta, but actually all of my scenes were gorgeous, lyrical. I didn't do any papa stuff.
That's nice.
My role was not papa. My role was quite lyrical, and it's nice. Beautiful. I was singing Fantasio, but I was one of the only non-French. I am a francophone. French is one of my two mother tongues, French and Arabic, and one of the reviews was they went through everyone before me, even the smaller role, they just reviewed everyone. I was like, oh, okay, so blah, blah, blah. And then they started my paragraph with, in French, it said, la palme d'or de la diction la plus horrible revient au, it says the golden palm for the most horrible diction goes to Rihab Chaieb. And I speak French. I speak French very well. And I was
Yeah.
just shocked because he spent like a whole paragraph saying how I couldn't speak French and I couldn't blah blah blah, and uh, um he could not deal with the hint of Quebecois accent in my, because what the funny thing about this opera is it's sung French, but I had pages and pages of not dialogue, of monologues
Wow.
that I had
Spoken.
to spoken. And the thing is, that freaked me out much more than singing.
Sure.
Because
course.
singing, it's easier to remember because you have the musical component, right? Like the note, the rhythm, the word, they all go together. But it's just talking. It's like, and it's not like Sauberflöte when it's just like or whatever. It's like pages. I had pages, monologue, and I did it. I was a bit nervous, but I did it. But when I'm nervous, a little bit of my Quebecois accent, my Céline Dion Quebecois accent come back, But I didn't think it deserved a golden palm of horrible diction. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, though. That's the stuff that people can't let go of.
I know. And it's like fucking French, It's like,
yeah.
Anyway, what did I buy? I buy myself, I think, one of my first very high-end bag. I think I got a Gucci bag that time.
Nice. I like a
and I still
Gucci
have it.
bag.
Nice. I have it. I don't buy anything new now anymore because I do believe that we're in a world of consumption. Consummation?
No consumption. We buy too much shit and we make too much shit.
But I buy secondhand. So I will buy secondhand.
Sweet. Some good stuff out there, secondhand.
Especially in LA. Oh my God.
There's a store down the street, a new one that's pretty good. Yeah, some good stuff.
What is it
some
called?
Good bags. It's called Second Street, I think.
Okay.
But it's on Second Street weirdly, but it has no correlation, but it's really good. There's like nice, good sneakers. There's good bags, good wallets.
Yeah.
Like some high end shit.
Okay. I found Crossroads. Do you know what Crossroads is?
I do. Yeah.
Look, I got this super cool, very LA jacket.
Oh, that's cool. That's amazing. I love that.
It's like Let Us Love.
It's so Beatles and amazing. I love it so much. Oh, I love it. That's cute.
Anyway,
good find.
I love LA.
I do too. I love LA. I'm so glad I landed here and
I just wish LA was in the East Coast.
Oh. Where do you have a place in the East Coast that you stay? Where do you stay in the East Coast when you're in Toronto?
Toronto, but I'm kind of like, but moving, I don't really have a home.
You're all over the place.
It's hard.
I thought that was going to be me. Yeah, I really did for a long time. I don't think I could have handled it being together with somebody. I think that would have fallen apart. So I just think at the time that I would have needed to do it. It was kind of one of those like, and yeah. I don't know if I would have been good for it. Obviously, I believe that we all kind of make the decisions we're supposed to make in some ways, and we should be okay with it and go with it. I don't like to look back at it, but I'm like, there was a moment for sure when I was like, I'm going to do that.
Just a few days ago with someone we know, I won't mention the name, but has a very big career, here and internationally. And he was just like, you know what? It's every time I leave on a gig, the pain of being away from my family, from my kids and my wife, especially the kids. And he's like, I'm missing so much when I'm away. It's actually more painful for me to be away than just being at home.
Yeah.
So, he's thinking about taking just a teaching job. And he's like, I know this is not what I thought like 10 years ago would be the dream, but actually right now my dream is being at home with my kids, picking them up from school. And it touched my heart so much because I think it's so important to follow your guts. And sometimes the dream is not the dream that you had like 20 years ago is not the dream that may happen. Right. And also we grow up, we want different things.
Put a lot of pressure on it, and people put pressure on us for it too.
Right. Of course. And everybody's different. Like last week I was out with Susan Graham, just like we started drinks and it became like drinking dinner.
She's awesome.
Fantastic. She's such a hoot. And it was super interesting to talk to her because she had she had a huge career, still has a huge career, but she had something very different. You know, we talked about family, and like she didn't have kids. She had, how do you call them, stepkids. But you see the difference in people when they have their kids in their home and their significant other, that it's so hard to be away, you know? It's so hard to be away. And I think like a part of me this is like, we're going like very intimate and in my private psyche.
into the spaces, yes.
Into the spaces. And I feel like a part of me feels like I'm stopping myself from meeting someone serious because I'm enjoying too much my career at the moment.
Yeah, but it's your time to do that. Maybe.
I know, but it's like, because I've had experience in my life where some people would like bring me down, and I hate that feeling. You know, like I'm very much like Carmen, like I need my freedom, and but I'm not imposing things on you, but I don't want to be imposed things. And I think subconsciously I've stopped myself from digging into a very serious relationship, because I'm like, I like the freedom. I like the feel of like, you know, which you don't get when you're, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean you do, but you don't. Yeah, with kids, no.
Do you have kids?
No, we've been trying. We were we've done the whole journey of fertility and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a long road for us, actually. Yeah, we're still checking it out, you know. But yeah, it's been like 3-4 years. Been a lot, actually. But Courtney's been through a lot with the. I mean, I'm fine, and you know, I have one job,
one thing to do,
one job. They call you in the room, and you do the thing. And, you know, it's like you walk in, there's like a Windows 98 computer there. Like, okay, we're doing this. But yeah.
It's harder on the woman.
That's, yeah, I mean, they have the shots and all that kind of stuff. So she's been through a lot. We want kids. We have 2 dog babies, as you know. But yeah, but just choosing to stay in one place and be with somebody married and be a good husband, you know, that does take, it doesn't take like necessarily being in the same spot all the time. Like we've both left and done gigs elsewhere for more than 1 month. You know, it's not as if it can't happen, and we're good with that. But I think it took a while to establish that and to be able to want to support that and be okay with it and not feel like, ooh. I mean, the first 2 or 3 years we were together, I was on young artist contracts for like 10 or 11 weeks per summer. And I mean, that was hard.
Was in LA and you were in San Diego?
She was here, and I was like in Ohio. I did Ohio Light Opera for 3 seasons.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Shows in rep for 3, like operetta shows in rep 7 in a season, like 3 years in a row. And then I did Utah Festival Opera too. So I did all these like shows, like tons of shows, and weird leads and weird shit, you know, like papa stuff, but I got to do the lyric stuff too. I relate. Yes. On a little lower level, like on like a kind of put together with duct tape and popsicle sticks, but same vibe, you know, it's the same. Not at the Met. Yeah. But yeah.
No, but.
But same deal. That's where I met Paul. You know, that's where Paul and I were roommates for 2 summers.
In Omaha.
No, we were in Ohio. We were in Worcester, Ohio, in this little tiny company called Ohio Light Opera, and people fly out there and they book their stay and they go in this little 500-seat hall, and we do like 5 or 6 or 7 shows of each thing, and we do like 7 shows, and we're all like in 5 or 6 of them, and I'll do like three leads. We did like Student Prince and all that kind of, like I'd be doing all these big sings every day. And you'd wake up not knowing what the fuck you're doing. You'd be like, am I doing a lead today? One day I did 2 leads. I did 2 leads in one day. I remember like I woke up, I had a staging, and I was like, fuck. And I was like, oh no, I have a lead today at 2. And I had a 2 p.m. matinee. And then I was like, God damn, I have a fucking lead tonight. You know, I was like, shit. You know, I was like, where's the prednisone? It was like, you know,
Far from what some of you are doing now with the church gig, the opera, and then the
yeah,
concert. You know, that's
we sing a lot. Yeah. I mean, I've had to keep my voice in as good a shape as I
How
can.
do
I
you do
think
that?
I sing a
You have
lot of,
like tricks or whatever. Like, what's your like go-to
I
thing?
think I have to study. I study with Michelle DeYoung right now,
Yeah.
online. She's been
Was
really
she
good for
was
me.
she a Trish student?
I think she's Trish's. I mean, it makes
Yes.
sense.
So are you, so you're kind of
The
Trish.
technique has a very very
Yeah.
tubey light edge technique, pillory, all that stuff.
The
Yeah,
pillar.
I mean
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pillars, and then also the kind of the light planking with the core and all that stuff is very. And then for me, I have to sing other kinds of music a lot to kind of keep my larynx not super when I super down all the time because I'm
Yeah.
singing a lot of studio work. So, but then like this Trump thing is kind of stentorian. So when I go into that, my larynx automatically just goes, whew,
Down, down,
so
down.
yeah. And I study with a guy here, Reed Bruton, and he's quite good, really, really amazing. And he teaches a lot of the main opera singers here, a lot of people in the chorus, a lot of people all over the place who are singing. So and his master teacher was a really good teacher. Just very old school. Very I've been obsessed, with the tenor thing too. I've taken things with like Jack Lavigny and stuff like that too.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've been online. I've just been obsessed with the whole process. So and
And
teaching it, yeah.
how's the like? What's the best technique for the tenor? Like, have you taken lessons with what's his Neil Shikov? You know, he comes.
Haven't, but I took with somebody who kind of was a descendant of who knew Neil and sang with Neil, and said, you need to sing like Neil. I thought Neil was a little. I love the full throatedness of the sound, like when you listen to the old Hoffman. That Hoffman is like unstoppable. I just go back to it. I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, I think I can make that sound. I don't think I can maintain that sound. I don't think my body knows how to maintain the airflow on that kind of a sound. That's what I've determined. I'm sort of still. I think it would take training, and I would think it would take specifically staying with that style
For what?
every single day. Just like you have to do if you're going to be on the circuit. You've got to. I have to warm up 40 minutes a day. That's what I do a lot.
What?
30 minutes usually in the mornings before noon, just while I'm driving. I just do like light edge.
Okay.
Like I
30
do
minutes. That's all.
yeah, well, maybe not quite that long, but like while I'm driving between 20 and 30 minutes, I just do a lot of vocal function. I'll do like the light buzzy stuff and then a
That's
lot
so
of
tenory. I don't
yeah,
do.
and very all that kind of stuff. The cry stuff. I did the
Is that it?
the cry stuff. I'll do high laryngeal, and then I'll start to let it stretch, and then make sure I'm trumpeting my lips and feeling the tilt and all that. I snort to where my soft
Yeah.
palate is, and I think about all that stuff. Shelf, all those kinds of things. All the tenor is basically for me. If I can keep the squealo in the sound,
Yeah.
it's important for me to keep squealo in my sound. I have kind of a dark voice, so I like to go to the dark side, and so I have to really like think about that pointy squealo balance all the time, and I get a little squeezy sometimes as a result. But it's better than going the other direction for me because of all
Yeah.
the ensemble singing.
I know. I wish I could hear you like in a solo, like it's
Oh,
just
I go online, go check it out. I've got stuff.
yeah, but like live. I mean,
Oh yeah, I wish that'd be awesome. I
yeah.
would love that.
But
I
I
would
have
love.
to say, like, I've never seen the tenors, and that's all tenors. I have never met a chill tenor. They're all like so like technically like it's just like always technique, and it's
I
like
didn't used
part
to
of
be.
personality because you have. But then at first I was like, ugh, so annoying. But then you realize actually that you have the hardest voice that.
It just gets focused on a lot. I don't
It's
like.
but also it's just the production of the sound as a man and as a tenor. It's really difficult. It's like a difficult. it just mechanically, it's like just difficult, right? Like
I
for
just know
me,
if I don't do it
always,
every
like,
day, I fuck it up.
I
Like
just
if I
kind of
don't do
like
it every
feel like,
day,
well, it's for me, it's like I speak like this and I can sing like this, and I just add more voice, like, it's almost like my voice. Sopranos ish as well. Basses are the easiest. There's like, there's just
yeah, I know it's
tenors.
amazing.
Like, tenors, you understand why they're a bit like, they're a little bit crazy. All the tenors,
We're
in a
all
good way.
crazy.
But because it's hard, and you have also the pressure of like, oh well, that tenor sang it this way, and he did that way, and you have all these predecessor of how you should do things, and it's just so much pressure.
I don't know. I think it's bad for everybody on different levels, but I do think tenors, we get into our heads a lot, and I think that's part of it. I was in my head too hard. I think that's one of the reasons I did comedy. So like because I wanted to be able to make fun of some of the fails that I had, and also the fact that I was sort of beating myself up for not being on the circuit, even though I knew deep down it was my choice. It was kind of like,
Staying.
yeah. I just was like, just enjoy what you have. You're singing on movies. You're singing in a beautiful ensemble. You get to do great. I'm still 50. I'm thinking I'm 51. I'm still singing well. I shouldn't be bitching. It's like, yeah. So, but I'll still bitch because I'm a tenor. That's our nature. It's just we're just so bitchy.
Bitchy and forgetting, just like every time I'm in a show with a tenor, I have to do something, and like
I always forget the staging and the fucking all the staging goes out the window, and no, we don't sing real words. We don't know what the fuck's going on. You know that. We don't know. That's it.
And every time, the stage director would be like, if the tenor does this, can you like compensate? And I'm like, why?
Cover for the tenor.
Cover for the fucking tenor. And then the answer is always, well, he's a tenor. Like that's just an excuse on its own. It's like, he's a tenor. I'm like, I'm a mezzo. I'm an intelligent person who speaks like 5 or 6 languages, who remembers her staging, blocking really well, and I don't need babysitting. Now I want the babysitting. Why do tenors need babysitting?
I'm married to a smart soprano, and I dated, I think 2 or 3 mezzos through the course of my. And y'all like I know this conversation very well, all of it. It's like this is just like a repeat conversation. Yeah.
And it's just the second a tenor comes on stage, it's like,
I know. It's like, and we're sort of like we are. It's like we have to act like Manrico, and we're really kind of Nemorino all the time.
Absolutely.
We're just kind of like, hey guys,
absolutely.
What are you guys doing?
Yep. Yeah.
I have one story I'm going to share with you before I let you go. So my story was, this is a good role for you, by the way. I thought about this. The Gospel According to the Other Mary. Do you know this piece? Yeah. Do you know this piece?
I've heard
so
of
good.
it.
It's so good.
Who sang it? I think it was.
It was Kelly. Kelly and Tammy.
Premiere with Sasha Cook.
Sasha did it?
Wasn't it?
I thought it was Kelly. I thought it was. Oh, well, Sasha did it up in San Francisco. I think we did it down in LA first. I feel like maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Sasha did it first.
2013. I was a young artist at Marilla, and I saw that.
Same year. It was the same year. We did it down in LA. Yeah, we toured it with the LA Phil, with Gustavo Dudamel and the LA Phil. Peter,
Nathan Gunn. Yeah, it was Nathan Gunn.
Yeah, it was Nathan. It was so Russell did it here. Russell Thomas was a tenor. Then the three like countertenors that they always work with that did the 3 countertenors. Then Tamara Mumford and and then Kelly gosh, why am my brain? What's wrong with me? Kelly O'Connor.
Oh.
And so, great cast, amazing cast. We stage it. Peter Sellers is staging. We're doing on tour. We space everything for the Walt Disney Concert Hall. We do 4 performances in Walt Disney. we take off. We're going to 4 cities. We're going to the Barbican. We're going to Paris. We're going to Switzerland, and we go to New York, and we come home. We get to the Barbican. We tech everything, and then we go. So it's a pretty chill, cushy for us. It's pretty. The Phil has another program, but we didn't have another program. We just had this. So we just tech and we go. So we had like 3 days and just drinking crazy. Anyway, good times.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get to the Barbican. As you know, the Barbican takes the space and goes like that. It's really narrow and really deep as opposed to wide like Walt Disney, which is kind of a funky stage. As soon we're in lines and Peter has us beating women in the scene, right? Like miming beating women as police people. I didn't have a row behind me before, but I did for the Barbican. And on my backswing at tech rehearsal, I just clocked the woman behind me in the nose in tech in front of Gustavo Dudamel, in front of not the Phil.
Audience member.
It was a cast member, but it stopped the rehearsal because she screamed so loudly. She was like, ah! And she was like, it didn't hurt her that badly, thank God. But she was so messed up, and I felt so bad, of course, because I was like, oh my God. But I just backswinged a little. You lock stuff in, and they never had anyone behind me. I never had to space it behind me, and I didn't think about it. I just went, poof. I'm really good with this stuff. I'm usually. I'm good with stuff on stage normally. And so it was just like, it was so embarrassing. Oh my God. And the poor girl,
Thank God it was a rehearsal and not a show.
It still wasn't, I was like, but I wished it hadn't have been in front of Dudamel and Peter Sellers and Grant and everybody. I was like, oh,
fuck.
Fuck.
That guy is stopping rehearsals.
Yeah, I was the guy that stopped. It's like back then you're really ooh, you don't want to waste anyone's time.
Absolutely.
And I was new to the group, I'd only been in a couple years, and here Grant offered me this tour, and I was jumping ship from 2 operas and at LAO, because I was like, well, this is cool. I definitely wanted to do the tour, and premiere and all these things. And yeah, it was hilarious. It was
nice. I actually saw the LA Phil at the Barbican do Fidelio. I love that production.
That was incredible.
With the deaf.
Deaf West. It was so beautiful.
With the deaf people.
Yeah, Deaf West Theater. Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh my God, I do not like Fidelio. I think it's boring.
I hate it. I fucking hate that opera. It's a dog to sing. I'm sorry. It breaks your throat. I sang one half of that thing and I was like, never again. Again.
But then I was like, I just went because I'm I had a few friends in the cast and I wanted to see, Gustavo and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, fine. And I was in London for, I was in London for the BBC proms. So I was like, let me go just see it. I go and I cry. I'm in tears.
It's moving.
And it was a great cast, of course. Tammy Wilson was Leonora, but the sign language, the actors, the deaf actors it was the actor from Coda, the movie that won.
Yeah, I know.
I have just shivers thinking about it.
Yeah, it's incredibly effective. It made me like the piece so much more. I was like, there's certain things that can happen in certain art pieces like this that can make you like a piece, and you're like, I like it now. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because you want to like it. It just I just didn't like it. I just didn't.
One more funny story.
All right.
And then I'm gonna let you go because I have a show tomorrow.
I gotta go too. I
feel like at all the Carmens I'll ever do after my first Carmen will always be a walk in the park, because my first Carmen was as followed. It was in Cologne, Germany. So, be ready for a very European, German, Deutsch, production.
Euro production.
And the director, whom I love, actually, I think she's a great director. But she was like, what would be cool is that Carmen's on stage the entire night. And this is my first Carmen. So I'm a yes and person. So I'm like, yes, great. Okay. And then she's like, you know what would be cool is that in Act 2, when like we're doing the da 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 da, you know, the dance, the chanson bohème, you know, the fun thing. It's in the church, and as the verses go on, people start taking their clothes off, and it ends in orgy.
Great.
Everyone's naked, and I come in, I get rolled on like a cart, like the Madonna, you know, like the Virgin Mary with the big thing, and
Yeah.
and as the verses, I'm singing, being like, what is my fucking life? Because, you know, by the third verse, Frasquita and Mercedes are coming, and they take the top layer of my robe off, and I have 6 boobs.
That's amazing.
My hands, I'm pumping breast milk shooting out of my 6 boobs, and the male chorus is like, they're being like
This is
fucking,
just,
and I'm here like, you know, when you're like, we cannot take yourself so seriously, because I'm like, this is art, I'm getting paid for this, and this is my first time, and I'm very serious, but also, what the fuck is my life right now? And I'm thinking like pumping breast milk out of my 6 titties while the praying the chorus, like.
And if like the audience is in the splash zone, right? Like, yeah, I mean.
And that was one of the moments where I'm like, the fuck am I doing with my life?
Have they gone too far? That's the question you ask us.
But you know what? And then after that, I had to kill myself because Carmen didn't want to wait for Don.
Oh, how does she off herself? How does she kill herself?
With a knife. So,
with a knife. Okay.
Just came out. Remember the movie Joker with Joaquin?
Yeah, of course. Brilliant.
So of course I take the knife, I slice my mouth open.
Oh, yeah.
And then I like harakiri a bit, like I kill myself.
Of course.
It was so fun. And just the sheer fact that I was on stage the entire time, just observing, smoking, drinking, like there was no time off, you know. So that was the hardest Carmen that was actually literally one of the hardest.
Did you have to vape? Were they vape cigs? Were they blow out cigs?
They're blow out. They're like,
that's better.
The powder. It's better.
The powder. No.
But after that, believe you me, after that, any Carmen, any other show, I'm like, fine, whatever.
6 titty Carmen, that's a good ending right there.
6 titty Carmen. And when the Carmen is on stage, the entire time just looking at what's happening, no time off, not like, oh, let me like recalibrate my voice, let me just warm up or whatever. The only time off I had was a 20-minute break.
That's abusive. I'm sorry, but I'm glad. You know what? You can do anything, I guess, now. I mean, if you can do that.
But the 6 titties Carmen will always be, you know.
I want to see the sizzle reel from that show.
I can find pictures, because she wanted a Carmen, no sexy. It was like, I was like Tomb Raider. I was wearing like a military uniform. I had a big braid.
It's kind of like Fifth Element vibes too. I mean, with the 6 titty, you know, like a weird like alien, Star Trek-y situation.
We were in like a carnicera, you know, like a butcher, you know, like a market, but it's all butcher. And it's like women were like meat. We're like sold as meat.
I see what they did there. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Anyway, Carmen, that's the best.
I love it. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
You're awesome. This was fun, right?
Our last show tomorrow.
I know. It sucks. But it was nice to get to know you through this. It was really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was super cool. And I really want to come back to LA. So let's put those
vibes out next time. Come hang out, because Abdiel has a Duffy boat, and you should come down and we can all drink. And Abdiel, he's one of the choristers. Abdiel has a Duffy boat, and we live by the water. And next time, it's an electric boat with a canopy where you can just drink and go 5 miles an hour and cruise all day. It's amazing.
Yes. Why didn't you invite me sooner? Rude.
I don't know. I should have. Is just we're setting this up for next time. It's happening. We're gonna say
in Long Beach.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's great. It's away from everything, and it's really nice, and just it's not too bad. It's not too bad of a drive. It's about the same as a lot of the other drives, just a little bit further. So not just, in distance, but time-wise, it's about the same. We drive everywhere anyway, so.
Do you see any like dead animals lately on the beach?
Because of the
red tide.
Yeah, it's so
something.
It's the what is it it's something in the chemicals in the water it's a natural thing. It's from the algae.
It's the red tide, yeah. The red tide.
Yeah, and so they're
a seal, like a sea lion on the beach.
I saw that. It's very sad. And there's nothing you can really do.
No.
It's part of the circle of life, unfortunately. It sucks. But they're also saying it's because it's been so fucking warm, and that's why. So I can't say it's because of nothing.
No, climate change thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. But we're just ignoring everything right now, right? Nothing exists. It's a great world. Yeah. My God. At least we got 680 Carmen. Hey, bam. All right. I'm leaving on that note. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Bonne nuit. Bisous. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.